Hi, I'm Lonnie Ward. Over the past 15 years, I've worked in countries battling extreme poverty, meeting incredible people, and learning life-changing lessons. Now, I'm here to share their stories and a few of my own with you. I can't wait to take you along. Lush green fields spread across the sloping land. Tall trees lined the hillside like watchmen. The cobblestone roads eventually turned to dirt, stretching and winding around the mountainside. Nestled in the foothills of the rolling mountains of northern Ecuador lay the homestead of Fabiola Chimichurri, who lived there with her parents. Despite being in their 70s and stooped with age, they worked hard to maintain their land and livelihood. The first time I met Fabiola, I had already heard so much about her that I was eager to finally see the woman behind the stories. She did not disappoint. As we approached, her broad smile and bright, shining eyes immediately set me at ease. There was a warmth in her presence, calm, confident, and welcoming. Her warmth exploded out of her tiny 4'5" frame. The team from Feed the World had been working with Fabiola for several years and was excited about the progress she had made improving her animal agriculture and crop production. Over time, she had absorbed new skills, applied them, and continued to build on what she had learned. Feed the World focuses on small-scale agriculture in rural areas, helping farmers improve the quality of production so they can lift themselves out of poverty and create food systems for their communities that are more nutritious and abundant. One of their major supporters is Thrive Life. When Thrive Life held their annual convention, they wanted Fabiola to attend as a living example of the work their charitable arm, Thriving Nations, was doing. They flew her to the United States, and she arrived carrying suitcases full of artisan items crafted by her friends and neighbors. On stage at the convention, she was an instant success. Dressed in her beautiful traditional Ecuadorian clothing, she seemed to glow. She stood proudly, brightly colored patterns embroidered around the collar of her shirt, a gold-beaded necklace wound intricately around her neck, and her black sombrero de otavalo perched on top of her head. These details, while almost commonplace in her own village, were striking and unfamiliar to the audience in America. At the booth she set up, she sold the artisan goods to attendees so she could return home with the proceeds and deliver the earnings to the women who had made them. For everyone involved, it was meaningful. But for Fabiola, it was transformative. It opened her eyes to the value of her culture, her work, and her community. I met her about a year and a half after the convention. She still spoke of the experience with joy, her laughter warm and genuine as she recalled the people she met. On that particular trip, we were evaluating a new technique that she had just put into practice. Fabiola raised guinea pigs, a common source of protein in South America. They are larger there than the small domestic pets many Americans are familiar with. They're roughly the size of rabbits, and their meat tastes similar. One of her ongoing challenges was aggression between the animals. The male guinea pigs fought often, injuring one another, which led to infections, wasted time, and sometimes death. She had raised sheep for many years and knew that castrating the males helped calm them. So she took a risk and applied the same technique to her guinea pigs, something no one in the village had ever tried. When we arrived, she proudly showed us the animals, a few sporting faint scars from the procedure. They were healthy, calm, and thriving. She explained that since castration, fights had diminished drastically, and caring for them was far easier. It was inspiring to see her take the education we'd shared and expand upon it, adapt a method from one species to another, explore a possibility, and solve a problem. Her ingenuity embodied exactly what we hoped would happen: farmers owning their knowledge, using it and reshaping it to fit their lives. Over the next 12 years, I visited Ecuador often, and whenever I could, I would make time to stop in and see Fabiola and her parents, now well in their 80s and still working hard every day. Sometimes I brought freeze-dried foods from Thrive Life, and she always laughed with delight, reminiscing about her trip to the convention. In her community, Fabiola had become a leader by example. Many farmers nearby were now using techniques she learned or developed herself to improve their agriculture production. One neighbor had long struggled with bees building hives inside his sheds. Every year he chased them away, only for them to return the next year. When Fabiola told our team about the problem, they reached out to a local extension agent who specialized in beekeeping. He asked whether the family wanted to learn how to raise bees instead of fighting them. The idea intrigued them, and they were eager to learn more. Soon, donated hives from the Ministry of Agriculture arrived, and when I returned, there were several beehives set up, healthy, active, and productive. Fabiola and her neighbors were already developing a brand and designing labels so they could sell honey under their own name. They proudly handed me a pint jar with their handcrafted label. They had transformed an annual nuisance into a sweet, sustainable source of income. Fabiola represents the kind of person who thrives when given support and the tools to succeed. With guidance from organizations like Feed the World and Choice Humanitarian, she not only absorbed the new techniques, but learned to adapt them creatively to her own challenges. Combined with the financial support from the ASEA Advancing Life Foundation and Thrive Life, she was able to acquire the supplies and apply that knowledge and turn it into successful business. As she succeeded, she shared her knowledge freely. Innovation spread from household to household, farmer to farmer, creating a ripple effect that improved life throughout the region. When I think of Fabiola, I think of the stark contrast between her actions and the culture of division and tribal mentality that we live in today. As I reflect on her example, I can't help but wonder how often we overlook opportunities to improve our own lives and the lives of those around us simply by trying something new or sharing what we know. Like the mountain roads that shift from cobblestone to dirt and back again, Fabiola learned to bend with her circumstances. She reshaped techniques, tried what others hadn't dared, and turned setbacks into foundations. In doing so, she carved a path her neighbors could walk, not just following her steps, but adding their own to the road she began. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who'd love these stories too. To learn more or connect with me, visit lonnieward.com. Until next time, be the change.